Why do people making the exact same salary end up in completely different financial worlds? Let me show you the trap.
Picture two guys. Let's call them Mark and David. They are both 35 years old. They live in the exact same city, work in the exact same industry, and they both make exactly $80,000 a year. If you look at Mark's life from the outside, he is the definition of success. He drives a brand new car that he finances for $600 a month. He wears a nice watch. He goes on vacations that look amazing on Instagram. And most importantly, Mark follows all the rules. Every single month, he takes 10% of his paycheck and responsibly puts it into a traditional bank savings account. He does everything society, his parents, and his teachers told him to do. But if you could look inside Mark's head at 2 a.m., you would see a guy who is absolutely terrified. He is exhausted. He has $15,000 saved up, but he's secretly one medical emergency or one corporate layoff away from complete financial ruin. He is trapped in a beautiful cage running on a treadmill that keeps getting faster. Now, look at David. David makes the exact same $80,000, but David drives a 7-year-old car with a few scratches. He rents a smaller apartment. His coworkers secretly think he's struggling because he doesn't buy the newest gadgets. But David sleeps like a baby. When he checks his accounts, there isn't just a small pile of cash melting away in a bank. David has accumulated over $250,000 in wealth. He has complete control over his time. If his boss yells at him tomorrow, David can simply stand up, pack his desk, and walk out the door without a second thought. He has ultimate freedom. If you feel like you're working harder than ever, but somehow you're actually getting poorer, if you feel like your salary is evaporating before the end of the month despite your best efforts to budget, you are not crazy. And more importantly, you're not bad with money. You're just fighting an invisible enemy that is mathematically designed to defeat you. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what that enemy is. I'm going to reveal why saving money is actually financial suicide in today's economy, and I'm going to give you the exact blueprint, what I call the ownership shield that people like David use to quietly build wealth while everyone else is distracted by trying to look rich. Some of the math I'm about to show you might make you angry. It might make you realize how much time and money the system has already stolen from you. But by the end of this video, you will have the exact tools to stop the bleeding, exit the rat race, and finally take control of your financial future. To understand why Mark is trapped and David is free, we have to talk about the biggest financial illusion of our lifetime, the illusion of the savings account. If you ask your parents or your grandparents what to do with your paycheck, they will give you the exact same advice they were given. Save it. Put it in a safe bank account. Let it grow. And here's the crazy part. 50 years ago, they were absolutely right. Back then, money was backed by something real. It held its value. A standard savings account actually paid you a respectable interest rate. You could genuinely save your way to a comfortable retirement just by being disciplined. That was the unspoken social contract of the middle class. You work hard, you save your money, and the system rewards you with security. But nobody told Mark that this contract was torn up and thrown in the trash decades ago. Today, you're operating in a financial system that actively punishes you for holding cash. I call this the fiat bleed. Think about what actually happens when you deposit your hard-earned paycheck into a bank. You look at your banking app, you see a digital number on a screen, and you feel secure. You think your money's just sitting there in a giant steel vault waiting for you to need it. It isn't. The moment your money hits that account, the bank takes it and puts it to work for themselves. They lend it to someone buying a house at a 7% interest rate. They lend it to a guy buying a car at 9%. They lend it to people carrying credit card debt at a brutal 24%. The bank is using your labor, your stored energy, to generate massive, guaranteed returns for their shareholders. And what is your reward for providing them with the exact capital they need to do this? They pay you a fraction of a single percent. They give you absolute pennies. You take all the risk of storing your money in their system, and they take all the profit. But that is only half of the trap. The real enemy, the silent thief that keeps Mark awake at 2 a.m., is inflation. When the government needs more money to fund wars or bail out massive corporations or pay off their own astronomical debts, they don't have to work for it like you do. They don't have to produce any actual value. They just press a button on a computer and print trillions of new dollars into existence. But here is the catch. Value cannot be created out of thin air. Every single time they print a new dollar, the dollars you already have sitting in your bank account become worth a little bit less. They're quietly stealing the purchasing power of your savings to pay for their mistakes. Let me put this into a terrifying perspective. If you saved $100,000 10 years ago and just left it in a standard bank account, the numerical balance might look exactly the same today. It still says $100,000, but the purchasing power of that money, what it can actually buy in the real world, has been absolutely decimated. That same $100,000 buys you significantly less housing, less groceries, less fuel, and less freedom today than it did a decade ago. Your money is not safe in a bank. It is bleeding. It is melting away like a block of ice in the summer sun. This is exactly why people who make $100,000 or even $200,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck, completely stressed out. They are trying to out-earn a system that is constantly devaluing their labor. They fight all year to get a 5% raise at work, but the true cost of living goes up by 10%. They are running on a treadmill that keeps accelerating, and they don't understand why they are still falling behind. They blame themselves. They think they are just bad at budgeting. They think they shouldn't have bought that coffee or gone to that restaurant. Listen to me very carefully. The system is not broken. It is functioning exactly as it was designed to. It is designed to extract your wealth silently, to keep you slightly desperate, and to ensure you have to wake up every single Monday morning and go back to work just to survive. The banks and the corporations need you to be a saver, because if you are a saver, you are providing the cheap capital that the wealthy use to build their empires. They use your melting money to buy real assets that go up in value. David figured this out. David realized that holding cash is a guaranteed mathematical loss. He realized that to survive, you have to stop being a collector of currency and start becoming an owner of assets. You need a shield to protect your time and energy from the money printers. And that brings us to the core strategy that separates the genuinely wealthy from everyone else. A strategy you can start using today, regardless of how much you currently make. Let's talk about the ownership shield. So how do we stop the bleeding? If the banks are using your money to get rich and the government is printing away your purchasing power, what is the exact way out? Welcome to the ownership shield. This is the exact mental framework that separates the 1% from the 99%. Let me ask you a very simple question. When the price of basic groceries goes up by 20%, who suffers? The guy buying the groceries. But who wins? The guy who owns the grocery store. When rent goes up by 30% across the city, who gets crushed? The tenant. But who gets richer? The landlord. This is the secret that Mark doesn't understand, but David figured out years ago. The wealthy do not hold currency, they hold assets. Currency is just a temporary tool used to transfer value. It is a melting ice cube. You are not supposed to hold it forever. You are supposed to pass it on as quickly as possible in exchange for something real. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket whether you're awake or asleep. An asset is a piece of the world that the government cannot print more of. To understand this, I want you to think of the economy like a giant swimming pool. The water in the pool is the total money supply. When the government prints trillions of new dollars, they are dumping millions of gallons of water into that pool. What happens to the water level? It rises. If you're standing at the bottom of the pool holding cash, you drown. Your purchasing power gets swallowed by the rising water. But if you own a boat, a real asset, you don't care how much water they pump into the pool. The boat just floats higher. The rising water actually lifts you up. That boat is the ownership shield. Inflation is only a tax on the poor and the middle class because they hold cash. For the rich, inflation is a wealth-building engine because as the value of the dollar drops, the price of their assets, their real estate, their businesses, their stocks, automatically goes up to compensate. The shield absorbs the printed money. Let's break down exactly what this shield is made of. First, it's owning a piece of the machine. I'm talking about businesses. Now, you don't need to quit your job and start a massive global company tomorrow. That's a myth. Thanks to the modern financial system, you can buy tiny slices of the biggest, most profitable money-making machines on the planet. I am talking about the stock market, specifically broad market index funds like the S&P 500. When Mark gets his $80,000, he buys a new smartphone, he buys expensive clothes, and he leaves the rest in his savings account. He is a consumer. He is the fuel for the machine. When David gets his $80,000, he takes a portion of it and buys shares in the companies that make the smartphones, the companies that sell the clothes, and the banks that issue the credit cards. He becomes an owner. When inflation hits and giant corporations raise the prices of their products, Mark complains. David smiles because his shares in those companies just became more valuable. He has shielded his money. He is letting the corporations fight inflation for him. Second, the shield is made of hard, scarce assets, things that require real human energy and finite resources to create. Real estate, land, gold, Bitcoin. Whatever it is, the rule is exactly the same. The government cannot press a button and create 1,000,000 acres of beachfront property out of thin air. Because these things are scarce, their price in fiat currency will always trend upwards over a long enough timeline. A house didn't really become 10 times more valuable over the last 40 years. The house is the exact same wood and bricks. It's the dollar that became 10 times weaker. The house just acted as a shield, preserving the stored energy of the person who bought it. Mark is playing a game of accumulation. He thinks whoever has the biggest pile of green paper at the end of their life wins. But the rules of that game were changed while he was asleep. Social media convinced him that looking rich is the same as being wealthy. So he buys depreciating liabilities to impress people he doesn't even like. David is playing a game of conversion. He works his job, collects his fiat currency, and immediately converts it into a brick in his ownership shield. Every single month, he adds another brick, a few more shares of an index fund, a little more equity in a property. He is building an impenetrable fortress around his time. And here is the most beautiful part of the ownership shield. Once it gets big enough, it starts generating its own gravity. The businesses you own pay you dividends. The real estate you own pays you rent. Your money starts having babies, and then those babies go to work and have more babies. You officially transition from working for money to making money work for you. This is why David can walk into his boss's office tomorrow and quit. He doesn't rely on his salary to survive anymore. His shield provides for him. He has bought back his time. And time, my friend, is the only currency that actually matters. You can always make another dollar, but you can never, ever print another minute of your life. So the question is not whether you should build your shield. The question is exactly how do you start doing it today, even if you are broke, in debt, and don't know anything about investing. That is exactly what we are going to cover right now. All right, so you know the game is rigged. You know that saving your money is a guaranteed mathematical loss. You understand that you need to build the ownership shield. But how exactly do you do that without getting overwhelmed, without hiring some expensive Wall Street advisor, and without gambling your hard-earned money away? The answer is a simple, highly aggressive, 3-step escape plan. This is the exact blueprint that separates the Marks of the world from the Davids. Step number 1 is what I call the cash quarantine. We need to completely redefine what a bank account is used for. From this day forward, your savings account is no longer a wealth-building tool. It is an emergency quarantine zone. That is it. You need to calculate your absolute bare minimum survival expenses for 3 to 6 months. How much does it cost to keep a roof over your head, keep the lights on, and keep food in your stomach if you lost your job tomorrow? Take that exact number, put it in a high-yield savings account, and never touch it. That money's not there to make you rich. That money is your psychological armor. It is the money that allows you to sleep at night. But anything above that number, anything extra, it is bleeding. It is melting ice. You must immediately evacuate that extra cash from the banking system and put it to work. Do not let the banks use your excess energy to enrich their shareholders. This brings us to step number 2, buying the machine. This is where most people completely freeze. They think investing means sitting in front of 6 computer monitors, analyzing complex charts, and day trading unpredictable stocks. That is a trap designed to scare you away from ownership. True wealth is built on autopilot. You don't need to pick the winning horse, you just need to own the entire racetrack. The easiest, most effective way to build your ownership shield is by buying broad market index funds. Think of something like the S&P 500. When you buy a share of an S&P 500 index fund, you are literally buying a microscopic piece of the 500 largest, most powerful, most profitable companies in America. You are buying Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and the major banks all at the exact same time. You are no longer just a consumer buying their products, you are an owner participating in their profits. When inflation goes up, these massive corporations simply raise the prices of the goods and services you rely on. They pass the cost on to the consumer. But if you own a piece of the machine, you are sitting on the right side of the equation. You let the smartest CEOs in the world work 80 hours a week to grow your wealth while you are sleeping. You don't need to be rich to start. If you only have $50 a week to spare, you automate it. Every single time you get paid, before you buy clothes, before you buy drinks, you buy your shield. You pay yourself first. Over a timeline of 10 or 20 years, thanks to the magic of compound interest, that consistent $50 transforms into a financial fortress. But there is one final piece to this puzzle. Step number 3 is the ultimate cheat code. It is what I call the untaxable asset. The government can tax your property. They can inflate your cash. The stock market can have a bad year, but there is one asset that no politician, no bank, and no economic crash can ever take away from you: your specialized skills. Your ability to solve complex problems, your ability to sell, your ability to communicate, or your ability to understand new technologies. These are high-income skills. When you invest time and money into upgrading your own brain, you increase your earning potential in any economy. If inflation drives prices up 20%, a highly skilled person can simply demand 20% more for their labor because the marketplace desperately needs what they can do. Mark focuses entirely on his job title. David focuses on making his skill set so rare and valuable that money naturally flows to him. The system wants you to be Mark. It wants you to be stressed, exhausted, and desperately clinging to a melting pile of cash. It wants you to stay on the treadmill so the machine keeps running. But you have a choice. You can wake up tomorrow, drive the finance car to the job you tolerate, and deposit your paycheck into a system that slowly bleeds you dry. Or you can draw a line in the sand today. You can quarantine your cash, you can stop buying products and start buying the machine. You can invest in the untaxable asset of your own mind. You can step completely outside the matrix and build a shield that protects you and your family forever. The rules of the game have changed. It is time to stop playing by the old ones. Start building your shield today. If this video opened your eyes, hit the subscribe button because we are going to keep tearing down the financial matrix on this channel. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the first step you are going to take today to build your ownership shield? I'll see you in the next one.